Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Fayetteville. It is so great to be here. We've got a great presentation today. We have Portia Grady with Friends Upscale Comfort Food. I hope you've had an opportunity to grab yourself a cup of coffee. Looking forward to a great presentation again. Portia, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to present. We're always looking to get ourselves in front of some amazing people. We love the city of Fayetteville. It has been great to us. So thank you. I'm going to share my screen just to have a bit of a visual aid. Hopefully you can see a web page because I can't see you guys anymore. So I'm hoping you can see the web page. So just to give you a background about our company, we're Friends Upscale Comfort Food, and we specialize in full service catering and mobile bartending. So the foundation of our company actually originated in its name with a group of friends. We would all congregate together and fellowship together, have a good time together, and it would always be over food. But our group of friends is very diverse in their dietary restrictions or preferences. We have some friends who are vegan, vegetarian, have gluten-free, things, allergies and all that fun stuff. So we wouldn't go out to restaurants a lot. We would potluck. And a part of that potlucking, I would be designated to cook. And even in college, if I was making ramen noodles, I would sprinkle parsley in it. I cared about the presentation. I cared about how it looked and how it tasted. And Greg and I, he's actually here. He's our head chef. He and I actually met in college. He was cooking in college as well. So we started in college with just a passion for cooking and cuisine, and that manifested over into a company. So that's a bit of a background of our story. We originated about 3 years ago. During that time, I was working full time, so this was kind of a hobby. Last year, February, right before the pandemic hit, I quit my full-time job and decided to cater. And as you can imagine, that took quite an interesting turn, and we had to get diverse with our delivery. So we incorporated some mobile bartending and some private dining experiences to kind of adjust to COVID. But we are a wedding catering. We specialize in wedding catering. As you can see, some creative plating going on there with some of our signature shrimp and grits, our mobile bartending, and event catering. Fayetteville has been very receptive to us. We've been instrumental in connecting with a lot of different companies. And while we cater throughout North Carolina, we want to hone in and really focus on this area, the city of Fayetteville. We've traveled as far as Asheville, Raleigh, Wilmington, Charlotte. We've done a lot of different events there, but we want to really focus here in our headquarters in Fayetteville. So I'm one of the owners, and then the other co-owner is Mahalia. You can kind of see her there. She is in medical school. She's doing her rotation in Lumberton at Southeastern Hospital. And I do this full time. We originally started off with a brunch with friends event where we would host brunches. And our goal was to bridge the gap between millennials and seasoned veterans in their professions, just to connect and talk over food. So that's just a side note of some event things that we've done here in the city of Fayetteville. We're very present and active on social media. We found that that's been very instrumental with the success of our company. And just want to share with you some screen captures, some food. If we were in person, we would have packaged some samples for you guys to try. But yeah, that's pretty much our company in a nutshell. One problem that we call ourselves solving is providing luxurious upscale food dining experiences. In that with any event that we do, whether it's a birthday party, bar mitzvah, wedding, we want the guests to feel like royalty. As a matter of fact, one of our taglines is "Be a guest at your own function." And so service is the foundation of our company. Creative cuisine is an added flavor to our company, and we're just very eager to hopefully expand. And That's us.
I'm going to jump right on in with first question. Where do you tend to focus on? What types of events, or are you in a specific type of food, or?
That's a great question. We're very diverse in our culinary offerings. Our specialty is upscale food, comfort food. So your Southern comfort food, your shrimp and grits, your mac and cheese, collard greens. We tagline ourselves with having upscale comfort food, in that the presentation and the creativity and the ingredients. But we've done a lot of different diverse dishes. Like we just had a bar mitzvah week before last, and that was a complete kosher spread. So we allow our guests to customize their menu and customize their experience as long as it's within our capabilities. But we specialize in comfort food, Southern comfort food.
Is it okay to say something? I just wanted to say I've had the pleasure of having food with Miss Portia and her company. They have partnered with, they did the Indigo Moon Festival. They catered that one year. They've catered Net Worth, it's a local women's networking group. They've catered our affair, and their food is fabulous. The service is fabulous. So you cannot go wrong if you hire these folks to do an event for you.
Thank you. And welcome back, Belinda. We've missed you.
I know.
There's a question from the chat. Brittany wants to know, have you considered partnering with any of the local venues like the Botanical Gardens? And she did know that this is going to be a little bit difficult during COVID due to lack of gatherings, but hopefully we're going to be coming out of that very soon.
Yes, and hey, Dr. Wilkerson. Yes, we actually, it hasn't been announced yet, but very, very recently we have been added to a preferred list as a vendor for Cape Fear Botanical Garden. We have connected with Studio 216, Studio 215, Metropolitan Room, and Rainbow Room, and Skyview on Hay. So we are listed vendors with these different venues.
I want to ask a very simple question. I'm a little bit confused. Exactly what is your legal title of your business?
So it's Friends Upscale Comfort Food, LLC. We go by Friends.
Which makes you a little unique in that title.
Let me ask the question. Do you have a physical location, or is it just catering?
We do. We actually just closed on our first restaurant. I think that was the week before last. We are located off of Legion Road. Before, we were utilizing a commercial kitchen with another catering company in Hope Mills. We were just utilizing their kitchen space for events, but now we have our own.
Where at off Legion Road?
It's 3739 Legion Road. It's right across the street from Manna Church.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
It used to be an old German restaurant.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It was. Yeah, it's been a number of restaurants.
It's been a bunch, actually, yes, sir. Most recently, yes, sir, yes, sir.
It's been a number of restaurants. How has COVID impacted your business over the past year?
We've gotten creative with our offerings in that we've done to-go meals and intimate catering. We've implemented some COVID procedures and precautions to ensure that our staff and guests that attend different events are adhering to guidelines and regulations. Last year, again, I quit my job in February, and the restrictions started like the end of February or beginning of March. And so I'm like, perfect timing, Portia. But we got creative with offering, to-go lunches and packaged lunches and things of that sort. We are now marketing and positioning ourselves for bigger wedding catering events. Since some guidelines are lifting.
Yep.
And we found great success with getting a lot more weddings and higher clientele events.
Do you have a number in mind when you say private catering? Are we talking more than 10, more than 20, or is there a certain range that you look at for private catering?
For the private catering, this particular one, it's an intimate dining experience with usually a couple. We've done them up to 6 couples at a time, but typically it ranges from 2 to 6 people.
Hey, Portia, we have a couple of questions in the chat box. Catherine says she lives up the street from your new location, and she wants to know how competitive is your company as compared to other caterers. So what exactly is your competitive advantage?
Servitude is the foundation of our company. As mentioned, we value our clients. We hear their story. We don't just give them a menu and let them pick from it. We want to know, what are you trying to embody? What message are you trying to convey to your audience? As a matter of fact, we just did corporate catering with long leaf pine realtors. And they mentioned to us, when we cater their events, they close deals. But we hear them, we hear what they're trying to accomplish, and we try to create a menu or create some type of signature dish that emulates whatever message they're trying to convey. So not only that, the preliminary part of creating the menu and getting the food to them, our service throughout the whole experience, whether it's an executive lunch drop-off or we're doing plated weddings, we want people to feel like royalty at their event. We don't wait for them to ask for their cup to be refilled. We're never letting it get empty. We're not just slapping meat and starches on a plate. We're creatively plating it. So we go the extra mile and take the extra step to connect with our clients.
So do you help generate the ideas for the signature dishes that you'll serve at particular events, or is it up to your client? Do they generally have the idea?
Yeah, so sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm actually pulling up our menu now. We like to say that our menu is a guideline. So these are some of the most popular dishes that we offer, and then this is, just a guide for them, because some people really don't have any idea. Like when we do a wedding consultation, we literally ask them to close their eyes, imagine themselves at their wedding reception, what's on your plate, and let them go from there. Now some people, they say, I don't know, I'm still stressing about what type of flowers I want to carry down the aisle or something like that. But we try to understand what their expectation is and what it is they want and how we can measure up to that. But of course, a lot of people, they see our menu is pretty diverse in what we offer. So they end up taking our recommendations, but we like to hear what people want, what type of food will represent them.
And so we have a few more questions in the chat. Ron wants to know, do you have the capability of eating in at your new location, or will this strictly be catering?
When we initially went into this, we were just happy to have our own kitchen. We didn't want to function like a restaurant, but we've had a lot of requests to do lunches and to do dinners. And so we are planning to open it up and offer dine-in. Now, our restaurant portion is very intimate. I'd say we can get 25 to 30 people sitting comfortably inside. But we have an amazing outdoor area. So, and with the weather clearing up and getting real pretty, we're entertaining opening the outdoor area as well as the inside area for a dining experience with us.
So Mark wants to know, how are you currently marketing your business? So how do we know you exist? How do customers find you?
Biggest thing that has been working for us outside of, well, big thing is word of mouth. So being present at different events here in Fayetteville and getting our cards out and connecting with people in the community. But we have been very fortunate to have a great following on social media. So we encourage people after they, dine with us or after they connect with us, share their experience for other people. And so we're also listed on Wedding Wire and The Knot. We're members of Wedding Pro. We were actually awarded for the amount of inquiries and the amount of reviews that we had recently on the site. So word of mouth and social media has been very instrumental for us.
And so Don wants to know if you've approached any wedding planners, jewelers, retailers like Blush Bridal.
Jewelers is awesome. We have connected with, and so I didn't think about that, but we will definitely contact some jewelers. Wedding planners, yes. As a matter of fact, a part of our leadership team, our executive assistant is a wedding planner. And so that's like a win-win. She knows the industry, she knows the clients. And so she's been very instrumental with connecting us to some clients, some clientele.
And Athena wants to know, why don't you put your logo on all your food photos? If it gets shared a dozen times, you want it to be easy for someone to know that who cooked this meal.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. That's a great suggestion that we should implement for our marketing for sure. We're looking for a seamless process to do that. So we've invested in some professional camera equipment, and the process that we're learning, the process from getting it from the camera onto the computer, we have to manually put the logo on each one. We're looking for some type of software that can streamline that process because we take hundreds of pictures at events. So we're looking for a process that way we can have the logo in a signature location every time without having to manually do that. So that's perfect. That's a good suggestion.
I think Athena has a really good idea because your pictures are so good and they are so appealing that you want people to associate that with your business. So I think that's an outstanding idea. Don wants to know if you've approached any wedding planners or jewelers or retailers like Blush Bridal, because that seems to be one of the niches that you're successful in.
Yeah. So we need to reconnect with some more local wedding planners. But we do have a wedding planner that we have one that's on our team. She serves as our executive assistant too. But yes, we do need to reach out to some more in this area.
Have you connected with the barn?
The barn, the venue, the Carolina Barn venue?
Mm-hmm.
We were actually looking to go to it's a ladies' night out event, I think. We were looking to vend there during that event. I think it's located there, but we would love to connect with that venue because they have, like I was looking at their pictures on Instagram. They have beautiful weddings there. So no, we haven't connected with them yet.
Portia, if you're interested in traveling outside the area, I live in a rural community about 30 miles from Fayetteville, but the Broadslide Distillery has a wedding venue there as well. It's absolutely spectacular. I would definitely encourage you reaching out to Jeremy and at least providing your information so he can share that. I understand that there is a waiting list. The venue, the barn actually stays, I mean, there is a waiting list for weddings and these events there.
That's a good problem. Thank you for sharing that. I'll definitely contact them.
Jesse also wants to know if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce for Hope Mills or Fayetteville.
We're not members yet. No, we're not members yet.
I'm looking at some of your pictures, which I love some of the photos that you've taken because I think it really showcases what you do. I would consider in your shots, though, that you do, in addition, because some of them you're showing snippets of the event. I think you kind of need to diversify some of that as well, because it looks like all you do is buffets. And I'm almost positive that's not what you just do is buffets. So, and you can show, you have a lot of things that look like weddings or reunions or things like that, but to kind of showcase that you do a variety of things, because you said you do the intimate settings, more intimate experiences. So kind of when you look at your pictures, not only look at the diversity of food, because you do an outstanding job of that, but look at what else is in the picture. The groups of people you're taking, does it show some of them are just like friends that are having an informal one versus a formal? Are they all buffet? Are they sit down, mix it up so that people see your diversity?
Okay.
One of the things that you're good about is that you are capable of doing many different types of events. I think you just need to show that in your pictures as well, because as I say to our culinary folks all the time, people eat with their eyes first. Before I even touch your food, before I even pick up that phone, I'm going to see your pictures.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
So just be very careful about looking at what all is in the picture with you. Corey wants to know what other limitations other than COVID or weaknesses have you identified with your business that you need help with?
Retaining good talent. Retaining good talent. And I know it's probably a part of the nature of the beast of the industry that we're in, and then the location. We've been very instrumental with, like, Greg is our head chef and he's a retired veteran. We've had a lot of amazing, talented servers and prep chefs and things like that, but they either move away, their spouses PCS, or, they have another opportunity. They have another opportunity, or, just things of that sort. We have events every weekend, and we're implementing, more private dining experiences and to-go dinners during the week so that we can have staff that's part-time or full-time. But we haven't been able to retain good talent.
Well, we might be able to help you with that, because especially if our students know that they're not committed to a full-time job or locked into some hours, because there are going to be some weeks they have more flexible time than others, especially when we're on break, that they can, they don't necessarily have to work every event if they can do, certain ones, especially where you have larger events. In it, we can encourage our students, if you are open to that, to helping you with larger events or events as needed, as opposed to being, every weekend.
We'd love that. We'd love that. What we had encountered with hiring is people that just wanted to make money. They were motivated by money, which is totally fine, because we pay well, but we want people who love what they're doing too, because that shows, if service is the foundation of our company, it's reflecting in your attitude and your demeanor. And, if you're just doing it to get money, then you're not going to necessarily do it with a smile. But that's the culture of our company, is servitude. So sorry, thought my sound was off. But yeah, servitude is a foundation of our company. So we're willing to train, we're willing to do all that fun stuff, but we want to attract people that's already doing what we want, or in the industry at least.
Well, the good news is our students, most of them that would come to you have already had a surface class, so they already know foundations. And like I said, the flexible schedule would fit with them better. Plus, like you said, it does come down to, we can say, hey, it's some extra spending money that when you're in college, you tend to have a lack of. But I just think the flexibility, and if you can accommodate some flexibility in their schedules, that you would be able to attract some more people. We also do work-based learning, where students can get college credit if you put them to work, but they do have to work a certain number of hours each semester. But that would be a good option for you as well. And Lori can hook you up with the contact person to set that up.
We would love that.
Yep, fantastic idea. And I'd be delighted to provide you that information.
Thank you for that. We would love it. We've had some, I want to say we've had some referrals actually from FTCC, and I think it's one in particular. I cannot think of her name off front. But whoever this person is, they actually traveled with us to a recent wedding in Greensboro that we did. And she was fantastic. She was wonderful. So we welcome our Fayetteville Tech students, and yeah, we welcome them.
We love doing that. Thank you.
Portia?
Yes.
This is Harold Griffin. How are you?
Hi, all is well. How's it going?
Very well. I noticed, I looked on the website and I didn't see anything about Craig on there. I didn't see anything about the chef. Did I miss it?
No, you didn't miss it. So we are actually taking professional pictures. I want to say it's this week. And we are updating our story part to reflect the new staff that we have. So we've recently had amazing leadership that, like our service manager is Ranika, which is his fiance, his recent fiance. He just got engaged. Greg is our head chef. Mahalia is our logistics coordinator, and we have a catering and sales manager now. So all of this is going to be updated on our, our story, or about me page as soon as we get our uniform professional photos completed.
Portia, this is Harold again. So what's the next iteration? So what's the next product line, or what are you looking to do that you're not currently doing to kind of advance your brand and expand your business?
That's a good question. So we did a consultation with Square. Once you reach a certain threshold with them, as far as utilizing their point of sale system, they do like a little consult with you and ask you, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What do you want to do next? So great question. One thing that we want to do is present ourselves more frequently to the city of Fayetteville. So we want to do pop-up shops or dinners, or actually open up as a restaurant 1 or 2 times a week, maybe. We want to be more present in the community. And what better way to do that than to serve food on a regular basis? So that's kind of our next step, is operating somewhat like a restaurant instead of just catering. So that way people can try our food and experience this even better. Because right now, when we have an inquiry with our wedding or any event catering, we ask people to do a tasting with us just to try our food. And so we conduct quarterly tastings. Our next one coming up is April 15th. And we do private tastings as requested. But I feel like that private tasting part could be eliminated or even lessened if we opened up to function as a restaurant more. That would be our next step, is offering lunches or dinners.
Portia, this is Harold again. Just an idea, just floating this. You may have already thought about it, and it's not an original idea, but in terms of preparing meals, like personal chef, where you're preparing the meals for individuals or families and then delivering those so they could just simply heat those meals up. It may be a little bit outside of your mission a little bit, and that you're trying to upscale. Mm-hmm. But there are certainly a lot of working professionals who just don't have enough time really to prepare the meals, but would like to have good, nutritious meals. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts? I'll pause there.
Well, first thing I thought about was meal prepping, prep. One of the caterers that we kind of look up to, Wolfgang Puck, he's like caterer of all caterers. He partnered with a distributor that got their meals out to him. I think they might have been frozen or refrigerated or something like that, but he would include reheating instructions that wouldn't compromise the quality of the food. So that was the first thing I kind of thought about, is meal preps or to-go lunches or lunches by the week. Just offhand, as you mentioned that.
I know we had discussed before as well, the family dinners. I know for sure, just from experience, me growing up, like my mom used to work until 6. My dad got off at 5, and we'd be at my grandparents' house from after school until they came and got us. So the normal routine was my dad would come get us. We get to the house, whatever homework wasn't finished at grandma's house, we finish it. My mom would get home, either start dinner or she'd bring dinner home. The day she brought dinner home, the family meals, Boston Market, Bojangles, those type of places, you come with the big entree, your 3 or 4 sides, some kind of bread or something, and a tea. Something along those lines would definitely work. We could still have the upscale feel to it because it would be us making it. So we would take that extra step in the flavor, making stuff from scratch. You could tell the difference. I'm pretty sure everyone has eaten fast food before and then eating the same thing that you made at home. You can taste the difference in cooking it yourself. So we take the pride in the cooking part of it, which is actually my part. So I take much pride in the cooking part of it. But I definitely agree. Some kind of family meal, some kind of setup for the convenience of still eating good, but not taking 2 hours to wait for something to come out the oven. You know what I'm saying? That's because then it's 8, 9 o'clock and nobody wants their kids eating at 9 o'clock. We gotta get ready for bed the next day, the routine, those type of things. So I definitely agree.
I agree with that one, because as a person who works often till 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, last thing I want to do is go home and cook, and then I have to eat it for an entire week.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, that is great for people who are on the go, but they want something healthy and tasty as opposed to fast food, and fast food's not healthy for you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. Only thing I caution you about is you're talking about doing more and more like restaurant style. I like the to-go idea, but just be careful that as you get more and more into the restaurant side, your expenses are going to go way up. You got a lot more fixed expenses and that you can't really account for in catering. You know, if you got a job, then you know what your expenses are and what your costs are going to be. When you open a restaurant and you keep it open so many days a week, so many hours a week, you've got set expenses then that you can't control as much. You know, it is the cost of it. And you see, that's why some people closed their business and went to a food truck or went to catering because of those expenses. So just beware that they're going to creep up on you.
Yeah, Portia, what's your annual sales?
Right now we're grossing every quarter we're at about 25.
What's that?
Every quarter. So this past quarter, Q1, we did an average of 25.
25,000?
Yes.
Okay, what's your goal? I mean, so from your strategic planning point of view, what's your gross revenue target?
Our goal is we broke it down by week. We want to have at least one catering event per week with an average of 5,000. So we're looking at 20,000 a month.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with the dean in that, you know, your carrying costs, your costs are going to go up, because if you're having to pay rent, you know, that's a fixed financial expense you're going to have every month. You know, so it's your utility expense. There's all these costs that are now baked in. That's going to be eating into your margin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you are saving a little and not having to rent commercial kitchen space, because you've got kitchen space you're renting already. But yeah, so it's about how do we expand your volume, increase your volume, and what's your capacity to do that, because you've already identified some staffing issues, which is not a unique phenomenon.
And a big factor in that too is that this whole thing is very recent as far as actually being able to have our own commercial space or see something after. Like this is a very recent, we just revamped our menu to reflect better pricing. We've just scaled up the clientele that we are marketing to. This is all new as far as the price points are concerned. So we're tracking, we're doing good, we're getting the clientele. Now we just need to measure up to kind of perform, to get this stuff going.
Yeah, I read one of the articles, I think it was in the Cliff or something like that, if I recall correctly, where you mentioned that initially you were pricing way too low.
Yeah, we had no take home. We had no, like I was paying people and I wasn't making any money. Another thing, we were traveling a lot. So like Greensboro, Charlotte, Wilmington, Asheville, we were all over North Carolina.
Week after week.
But the price point that we were charging was so low. By the time we got there and used somebody else's kitchen and paid out the event staff, we had no take home. So now that we're focusing here in this area, Fayetteville, we've seen a lot better growth. We've got our food costs down, down to the per plate. We've gotten a lot better with that budget and stuff. So yes, I thank you for that caution about the restaurant thing, because that was one of our apprehensions. We want to get more local buzz, and we want to offer things locally, but I kind of strayed away from the whole restaurant thing altogether. But people have asked us about lunches and dinners and things of that sort. So we're planning to do hopefully like maybe 1 or 2 nights where we have a prefix menu or something.
And I kind of like that as a better angle for you, because you don't want to become the run-of-the-mill restaurant that anybody can go to in a day and you become ordinary, because it doesn't sound like you're trying to go for a niche that's ordinary. You want to be the upscale friends place. And I think you need to focus on that. And if you're going to do some of those things, do like events where people see it as a special thing. Hey, I want to go. They're having it this week or this month. It's going to be on these days. I want to go. So instead of it just being you're there, always available, always open, and having all those expenses, focus on, where you do like maybe 1 or 2 nights a week and that's all you're open, or only certain events and you have the events at your place or something, but keep yourself in that niche if that's where you're going to go. It also allows you to have those additional, the little bit higher prices to be able to pay yourself, because you always pay yourself. We pay yourselves. Please do check out the comment that Sabrina posted in the chat, because she was giving you some suggestions of places that you can look at that are on the West Coast and how they do it. And they're doing the pop-ups and they do the lunch sales and that kind of thing. I would rather come to you and pick up a nice meal that's prepared than to just you become a regular run-of-the-mill restaurant with everybody else. Right now, you're distinctive and you want to stay distinctive.
Right.
But I think you need to add some to your website, because when I look at your catering, all you have is weddings and bereavements, and then you have events. You have the brunch with friends. So you need to add some diversity there as well when you're talking about, like I mentioned with the pictures, show the different types of events that you want to cater. Don't show everything in everybody's brother's cookout that you just happen to be at, but the kinds of things you want to be known for.
Hey, Rosha, Cindy's definitely on point with keeping your branding and as far as your hours for your restaurant. But prior to your physical location, where were you preparing the food?
We were utilizing a commercial kitchen with another catering company. We were using Elite Catering's commissary kitchen.
And I don't have to tell you that, the year of COVID, which is where we are now, has changed the restaurant industry totally. And everyone in that industry is still trying to find the right balance. Some restaurants have tried food trucks and fixed locations and meals to go and deliveries. And just being creative through the process. But as the state continues to open up slowly, and on Friday, the governor has going to open up more of the state, and all the bars will be open again, finally, thanks. But and you guys are in a good location on Legion Road, where you can market not only in the Hope Mill side down Legion Road, but also in Fayetteville too. I would really take advantage of that and keep your distinct brand that you're using, and try to find the right balance. But like Cindy said, you know, if you guys were to open, I would probably do it no more than Thursday through Sunday.
Right.
Just telling you, that's things that I've heard from business owners that they've tried and what's worked for them. And so I share that with you.
I know personally myself, I'll look a little bit about me. So I've been working with food in the restaurant business since I was 14. Knew a lady who let me work at a little mom and pop shop in Fayetteville. And then my first real job was at Chick-fil-A. And I've taken the things I learned at Chick-fil-A with me up until this day. I love that place for a few reasons. One, everybody knew their job. And then two, everyone did their job, and there was never like it's your fault, your fault, your fault. And from that, just going off of what you said, the restaurant business is a tad bit different than other businesses. And by that, I mean, their peaks and lows are very, it's not like a mix. It's a good day or it's not a good day. And a lot of times in this area, for sure, just because I've been here all my life, the weekends, people get loose with their money.
Yeah.
Monday, people are regretting every dollar they spent over the weekend. So from Monday to about Wednesday afternoon, everyone is real tight on that wallet. And then I know for us being a fan, growing up with my mom and my dad, Thursday, usually my mom was going to get her hair done. My dad wanted to go to the gym. So Thursday was our family day. When they got back, we were going to go out. Friday, of course, as we got older, we were going to football games and this and that thing. And people, so, you know, restaurants get filled up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I agree totally. I would not do anything at the beginning of the week, because then you'd be sitting there, we just be looking at each other. Like you would get, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, Gregory, now with that said, you know, market some dish that, you know, on Friday night, this is your specialty. On Saturday night, this is your specialty. Because like I know you're in a very good location.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the biggest thing. I know my dad, he loves prime rib. So it's a place in Hope Mills, off Hope Mills Road. I can't remember the name of it, but he all week long, he talks about it all week long. Like if that's the excitement, you can have some. He will never go anywhere else to get a prime rib, because he's been going there for about 3 years on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real. People, my whole love of food is everyone eats. It may not be what you want today, but eventually you all are going to be hungry at some point in time today. And so my hope and my joy is that one day you're going to be hungry and want what I'm cooking. So I take that as like my own boost up. Like, okay, every time you come to eat my food, I want you to be like, man, wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the joy of the friends part that we bring. And I want you to have that. You look at it, how she said, you eat with your eyes. I completely believe that. I'm not putting anything in my mouth that doesn't look good. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes all the time, definitely.
Those are your repeat customers.
Yes, sir.
And that's your word of mouth advertising.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
And to kind of piggyback off of what Sabrina was saying about looking at on the West Coast at some businesses that are doing some similar things as far as the upscale restaurant. You could also look at Port City Chop House, Boca Bay near the Wrightsville Beach area. They are very successful. So you may want to just take a peek at those as well, Portia and Greg.
Yeah.
Thank you for suggesting that.
I'll go check them out this weekend. I'm going up to Wrightsville on Friday. Yes, ma'am.
And of course, I mean, COVID has impacted the hospitality industry. So, but they are still open. I understand, I think Boca Bay may be doing some sort of renovations, but I do know that Port City Chop House is still open. So check them out.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So Athena also has some suggestions. She said that if you need some help to determine your best plan for a restaurant or to-go orders, you can contact our small business center here at Fayetteville Tech, and they would be delighted to help. There's a lot of resources there that I would encourage you to take advantage of as well. We're almost out of time. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a comment with regard. First of all, I'm a Yankee, so I'm probably not your target audience.
Oh yeah,
I gotta tell you,
I love the Yankees.
some of
My
that
granddad
food,
like.
looking at some of that food, I might change my mind. I'm going to disagree with my colleagues a little bit in one sense, because I got a little bit of restaurant background myself. And I've seen a lot of restaurants who focus on the restaurant, and it is a separate business.
Mhm.
And they focus on the restaurant and do catering on the side. I don't really know of anybody who focuses on catering and does restaurant on the side. And I don't know how easy it would be to be successful in that sense. So it just seems to me that if you're thinking restaurant, your focus has to be on the restaurant, because there is a lot there to be able to show a net profit. There's a lot to do there. It takes full-time management. And I don't know too many restaurant owners that aren't putting in 12, 14 hours a day, just making sure that that happens. And you're having labor issues right now. If you think you're having labor issues now, when you get into the restaurant business, it has to be tight.
Right.
And I would caution you as to the direction that you're going. I think you got a great catering business, and I think it looks like you've really defined your target audience. And I would think that you have a business there, and I would focus on that. I think you got a niche, and that's just my opinion. So I'm going to have to disagree a little bit with my colleagues on this.
No, this is Harold. I agree 100%. So I think what you have is very unique on the catering side. But I think there's a lot of untapped opportunity within that model.
Yeah.
To complicate it with now restaurant management, which is a whole nother set of skills.
Thank you for sharing that. That's sound advice. Thank you.
Well, I think one of the things that kind of goes on with what everybody's saying is, instead of necessarily using your restaurant as a restaurant, you could use it as a venue for your catering events. So, for example, if I'm an office or somebody who I function for with my friends or with my coworkers, sometimes you still want to get out of the office, but you want some privacy. Like at our Christmas, we like to go places, but it's hard to get us to go places because you're in there with everybody else. So you could treat your restaurant space as a venue place when you are not open, to the public. If you choose to open your restaurant to the public, the rest of the time you could treat it as a venue and let us come to you, as opposed to you catering into us, because it gives us a place to have it.
Mm.
And that would actually
hard to get sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
I mean, I don't want to rent out a whole building somewhere like downtown or something
for 2 hours.
That kind of sense.
Right, yes, ma'am. Right, for a small hour and a half meal. Yeah, definitely.
Especially
there are businesses that operate that way, in that they're only open 1 or 2 nights a week. Some actually use a home and convert it to a restaurant type business, giving a little bit more atmosphere, which with your food would be awesome.
Right.
You could do something like that. You could also utilize your early part of the week where you're not doing a lot of catering, to where, some of the prefix meals that they're talking about, and I would work with another service, because that's not your business to deliver.
Right.
I would certainly work with the services, but on these 1 or 2 nights a week, what these people have done is that they've taken reservations and filled that place up based on reservations, and had a specific menu to deliver, some were suggesting. And that's not a bad way to go, and it keeps you out of the restaurant business. You're still catering, but you're bringing people into your home to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad way to go either. Again, I'm just going to emphasize, I would not do a restaurant. And I understand that the Thursday to Sunday is the best time. Even Mondays are a good night for restaurants. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are usually your slowest. But I don't think I would do that. Your focus is going to be there if you start doing that. And if you want to be in catering, get out of it.
Right.
That's funny you say that, because the restaurant is actually attached to a home.
Yeah.
We're only leasing the restaurant portion, but it was a little German lady that had it, and it was immaculate. Like when we came in, it was just, hadn't been used in a while, but it was a very homey feel. And I was like, this is for us. This is where we're supposed to be. So it's funny you say that. Thank you.
So Portia, I'm going to take the last question. What can this community do for you? How can we help?
Help us get the word out. We're really just some kids that love what we do. We're passionate about what we do. We love the culture of our company and we want to connect with more people. But one, help us, spread the word about our company. And two, connecting us to some talent, some people that are passionate about food and service. That would be greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you so much for coming today. We really enjoyed it. I would be delighted to provide a little bit of information once one MC is over. Also, I would like to invite you to come back. We have different people in the audience every single week. And so you can make those connections there, Portia and Greg. We would love to have you back. We'd also love for you to come back in the future and tell us how things are going. Okay? Thanks so much.